Summertime, how you been? Hang on, let me stop this. What you been up to? Hey, you. Just catching up with the cricket, look, it's all happening at the moment, swatting these flies, you know, it's summertime. How you been?
You don't swat flies up in the north of England, mate. In fact, you don't fly, you just wear jackets.
I'm just used to, I can't break these habits, you know. In summertime in Oz, we always, it's part of the Aussie salute, so I just do things out of the habit. You know what I'm talking about, how we just do things out of habit. How you been, mate?
I'm all right. I'm not doing so bad, mate. Not doing so bad. I'm just got a cup of coffee chat in the conservatory.
You mean it's that time of the month?
That time of the month, yeah. It's that time of the month. I've been busy, just coming to a completion on a property. Picked the carpets this morning. They'll be fitted on Monday.
Yeah.
So that'll be another one either rented out or to be sold.
You've been a busy man. What's new with you? Apart from the properties, what else is going on? We've been talking to people on the site. What have you been saying to them? Get their act together, or what have you been up to?
Well, you know, I look at things and I just think that, you know, business people are trying to look for a business, an angle to get in. Obviously, they don't have to create the product themselves. They can have a look at what's in the marketplace out there, lock into what they think is hot, develop a site, and then start retailing it and selling it and just starting working for something from home. Just something a little extra to either supplement their income, or, you know, if indeed they want to go and do it full-time, get and do it full-time.
Danny, I think we've been putting a few things up in the last few weeks. I've been out meeting lots and lots of people, and I think people have really got to work out what are they going to do. I've been busy there. I'm reinventing myself, doing things differently. It's exciting, but I think if we sit back and just watch the TV and watch what's happening in Greece and China and think it's not going to happen to us, it's going to happen to us here. I think people are now realising something not right, and I think we've got to take responsibility.
Well, yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm in support of Greece. I really applaud them for what they're doing. You know, I mean, you can kick a dog when it's down, and I'm so glad they can either roll over and die, which they could have actually made that decision, or they could actually stand the ground that they have done. But people will think that, oh, well, Greece has got nothing to do with it. The amount of money that we owe Greece or Greece owes us is negligible. But if you have a look on the knock-on effect, what will actually happen? Greece owes money to other people who owes money to us. So, you know, that is the usury-based fiat currency system that we have. And essentially, they're either going to do one or two things. They're either going to come for us for the money, or they're going to default on paying us, and we're going to be in the similar sort of situation. So, yeah, hats off to Greece.
What's going to happen, if you remember 2008? What happened in 2008, Danny? Do you remember this global financial crisis?
Oh, listen, mate, I don't care what anybody turns around and says. If they think that is a global financial crisis, wait till they see which one's going to happen this time.
What that happened from was 4 states in the United States. 4 states. So we talk about little Greece, for example. 4 states in the United States caused that ripple effect, that chain reaction, because the financial world is not same as the geographical world. It all just gets pushed out into infinity. I'm looking at here, we had the budget yesterday, and we're up to $1.5 trillion in debt. But that's just nationally. Do you know all the private debt? How many people are in debt there that are listening in? Got mortgages, got loans, got everything. All across the country. Business have got debts. Oh my God. When you start adding all that up, Danny, the sums are getting pretty big. What we're doing, not trying to scare people, but that's the reality. I think we've got to really start taking responsibility for ourselves. That's what it's all about, and that's what we're letting people know. That's what I've been seeing for the last few weeks when I'm meeting people.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been speaking to somebody probably a couple of weeks ago. I spent £800,000 on a new venture and a new warehouse, and I said, well, you know, look, I said, you know, you can actually look at this as an awful lot of money to shell out, but if I'm telling you this from the external, you really got to lock in to see how ways you can actually protect that, get ahead of the game, and make yourself stronger where other people aren't. But, you know, for the everyday person or the small business owners, look at how they can add further value to the services, to further value to the products, and see what you can actually do to drive further into the marketplace, get out of the conservatory or your building, and just to see what you can actually do better than what anybody else. Go that extra mile, that's what I would say.
So, Danny, I see. I've been meeting a lot of people. Do you want to know the reality? And now, so people don't always like the reality, but I've been meeting people, and so many at events, workshops, training events. Do you know how much they got up their sleeve in finances today, Danny? The reality? They're living month to month. They're absolutely broke, and they're trying to find something. They're trying to look for I think I call it a pot of gold, and their mindset. Guess what? When you've got all that pressure, that stress from finances and family life, and you're looking for the bright shining object, and your mindset is saying, oh no, it's too good to be true, what's the catch? You're not even in a state of mind to even be objective. And yet I've been seeing time and time, you know what it's like when you're trying to do a business. You've got to be very rational, cool thinking about what you're doing, and that's what's going on today, Danny. That's the reality.
Well, yes, certainly. I mean, I come from the property side, as you know, and there's a lot of people who there jump onto the guru side of things, and this is all singing, all dancing. The story is very, very different when you get on the ground and you start actually doing it. You'll see what the pitfalls are. It becomes a very good learning curve. Quite a lot of property people make more money out of the training than they actually do out of the doing. Which is pretty shameful, but you know that it is what it is. However, when you're actually looking at doing a business, you've got to look at the fundamental basics and look at things in a logical fashion, just to see, well, how can I do it? Where's the marketplace? What's going to affect that marketplace? Whether it's been the social issues, technical, economic, political, and then you sort of make a decision based on those. Then you've got to look at your skills set that you have and look at how you can actually get it into the marketplace and how you actually can sell it. And it's just basically logic. That's what all it is. It's not a hoo-ha, sort of like raise your hands in the air and, you know, let's massage each other's back or anything like that. It's get your feet on the ground and look at things logically. It's not rocket science, to tell you the truth, but, you know, some people will try and make it that way.
Well, I would say to people, go back and look at some of the interviews I've done with Christine Blackledge, I've done with Trish McGeer, I've done with Fred Solberg, was there another one I've done? And these are people that we've known, they've developed their business along the way, and they will tell you, and even Trish McGeer on that interview, you saw her, she's telling the fundamentals are boring. They're just every day. You have to go about it, and people are looking for that bright shining object. If you're out there and you're running a business, you might have 2 or 3 staff. What is the bottom line, Danny? It's your costs and the revenues coming in. Yeah, and if you're killing yourself with you've got to
have more coming in than what you've got going out. That's the long and short. Otherwise, it isn't a business.
Oh my God, Danny, you just said something profound. You mean the meaning of profit, let's get it back to Charlie, is more money coming in than going out?
More money coming in, and less than the money. I've got to say, I said it so well, so...
Please,
there's got to be more coming in than what's going out, and that's a fundamental...
We're having a bit of a laugh, but please write that down. Do you know why? I've spoken to my accountant, and he says, David, people that are running their own small business, they don't even know their cash flow. They don't even know how much, if they've got enough in the bank to pay next month's bills, whether it's wages or outgoings or rents or for the they don't know. And so that's the reality. What else is going on, Danny? Yeah. Anything else you want to raise, or we'll just talk a bit more about what's going? What do you got? Anything to say? I'll go on to the next subject.
No, basically I've mentioned what's in the marketplace, what is coming, and for people to gear up and watch the backs, and if not, try to make plans for something to do that. Look at growth industries. What is going to be a growth industry? Mm-hmm. Is it going to be UK tourism, or is it going to be tourism overseas to the likes of Turkey and things like that? I think that's been greatly affected, or will be greatly affected. So, you know, I was only speaking last night. My mother says, "Do you think we should go to Greece?" And I said, "I'm not too sure." I couldn't really tell you. I don't know if they haven't got the money to pay for anything. How are we going to get fed?
So one thing I'd like to talk about, Danny, is I look around, and I've said this before, I look around what everybody else is doing, and then I go and do the exact opposite. As you know, I run business training every so often, about 3-4 times a year, and I look around and everybody is doing the same message to market. Everybody is a business coach, a life coach. I think some of them have just come out of university or got fired or whatever, so they become a life business coach, and I just see all these things. See, what I'm excited about, Danny, is if I can step back, and this is a tip for anybody, if you can step back and look at what other people are doing, if you're doing property investing, look at what everybody else is doing, Danny, and just take an about face. So I'm looking at everybody, and I've decided I'm building a new business, a new model. What I'm doing, I'm looking at that guy that's out there that's got, as I said, staff. They've got obligations to meet, to pay. What's their bottom line? They're trying to cut their costs. They're trying to get extra revenue, and that is where you're looking for the person where they've got the need, the hunger, and it's just a question of, is it easier for them with whatever service you've got, Danny, is it easier for them just to write out the check, or them to go and do it themselves and go through the learning curve? And many people, they just, if they see the value, they'll just write out the check.
Yeah, I mean, well, just to add something to that. I mean, certainly when I left school, I did a lot of things for experience. When they turned, I said, "Oh, just do it for experience." And I used to do it from interest. But it gets to the point in your life when you're going, "Hang on a minute, how much experience do I need? I'm 40 odd years of age, and why am I doing this for experience?" And it's not experience. I've worked hard. I've been to university. Yeah. I've had my feet on the ground. I've made money. I know what it's like to advertise. I know what is wrong advertising and doesn't work, and what is going to affect your cash flow. And the long and short of it is, experience counts for a hell of a lot.
It does.
A hell of a lot. And if you can actually, I'll give you an example. On this floor here, on my floor here, look, I'll see if I can turn it down. You see my floor there? Is that we've got this floor which was undertaken by a guy. Now, I used to pride myself in tiling. I used to really enjoy it. I used to do it because it was sort of like a bit like putting a puzzle together. It used to take me an absolute age, but I used to enjoy doing it. Strange enough, some people like painting, some people like ironing. Some people can't get their heads around it, but I used to love tiling. These tiles are very, very unforgiving tiles. I know I got the guy to do it, and he did it in roughly a day and a half. If I'd attempted it, it would have taken me roughly about 2 weeks.
Yep.
It'd have taken me 2 weeks. So I've got to have a look and tap into other people's experience. If they can do it quicker, they can do a better job than me. And fundamentally, I've got to look at it. Well, let's just pay it, get it on the ground, and get it working essentially. And that's a lot with business as well. And you're not going to be a marketing genius. You're not overnight. You're not going to be a salesperson overnight. And let's face it, if you've got a product or a service, you better know how to sell it, because if you don't, that is going to upset your cash flow. And if your cash flow is upset, then we're back to the basic. Number one is you haven't got a business. You have got an expensive hobby.
Okay. One thing I see in common before we wrap up, I see all the people that I've interviewed, and I can hear it in you. You've got to have ticket. You've got to have, things don't always work for you. And it's a case that you've got to have the drive, determination to be able to see this through. This is not a fancy. This is not a rah-rah. This is really, have you got the heart really to take it, to stand up? Because there will be times and days that you feel like nothing's going your way and everybody's against you. Has ever had one of those days, Danny?
Well, hey, listen, it's business. It's not easy. Put it this way: it's not easy at all. People think it is. It's great working for somebody else, and yeah, it does have its bonuses ultimately. But you know, it's not all singing and all dancing. And you know, I could give you a few stories which would just make you cry.
I'm going back to the
But,
cricket,
you know,
Danny, so we've got to wrap up anyway. Great catching up with
all right,
you.
okay.
So go back and have a look at some of the interviews, the videos, and we'll catch you again next month. But I'm back to the cricket, guys. Back in between things. Catch you all next month. Bye-bye.
Bye bye, David. Bye bye.